a cast string, you can just even apply for a numeric value. So for example, if I'm just giving it as public emp count is equal to something like this 10. Okay, so I can just bind it. So here I can just write this as paragraph total number of employees are, I can bind it here by just giving it as emp count. So I can just bind like this. So I can just give it as total employees, total number of employees are, and I can bind this particular property emp count to the template. So emp count. Okay, so now let us just see this. So you can just see that the total number of employees are 10. Okay, so like this. Yes. Any queries?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So like this, I can just bind. So this is one way data binding, that is from the component to the template. So this is the and even I can just bind the objects. So for example, employee object. So I'll just take one object here. So I'll just take an object as public emp So I'll just tell emp object. So I'll just give this an emp object is equal to, so I'll just give it as first name, so I'll just give it as walking, then last name, so I'll just give this first name and the last name for this particular part of it, the object. So now I'll just try to call this particular object. So I'll try to bind this particular object here. So now I just bind it in H2. So I'll just bind here. So how do I bind this? Curly braces. What was the name of that particular object? The name of the object is emp object. So I'll just give it as emp object dot first name. Okay. So you can just see it is working. So now I would like to bind the, so for binding again, I need to take one more. I'll just give emp object. So this I'll make it as last name. So you can just see that the object. So here I have taken it as a string. Here I have taken it as a string. Here I have taken it as a numeric value. Here I have taken it as an object. So you can just bind this part of it like this. Okay, and then I just would like to tell you that even I can just use so with interpolation. So what exactly is happening is with interpolation, I can just bind the properties, but if there are any, and I can bind the objects, but the built-in objects of Java, I cannot bind that particular built-in objects of Java. So can you just mention any one of the built-in object? Any one of the built-in object which you have worked on it?
Array.
Array. Built-in objects. Objects of what is that? JavaScript. No idea?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I'll just. Okay, fine. Now I just wanted to find the. I can even just use some built-in functions like.
And there is one math object.
And there are a lot of objects. You can implement it. So you can try. You can implement the various objects. So for example, now I just wanted to display. I'll just take this paragraph. Within the paragraph, I just wanted to display the title. So I'll just take the title. I wanted to find the length of this particular title. So I can just use length.
Got it.
So you can just see here the length of the title. So like this, you can just use the functions also. If I want to convert this, now this is a tree is in a lowercase. I just wanted to convert this into uppercase. So I can just use this into uppercase. So here I can just use the functions like to uppercase. So now you can just see that it has been converted to uppercase. So like this, I can just use the binding part of it. So not only the properties of it, I can even just try to bind the methods. So the methods which we are trying to display within this particular name. So let me just declare one particular method. So now I'll declare one method here. Public display. So here what I'll do is I'll just try to return welcome to I'll just write welcome to. Now I want to list walking tree. Welcome to walking tree. I want to display. So now I have written welcome to. Now walking tree is in this particular property. So I just wanted to print the value of this particular property. So what I'll do is I'll just try to use a concatenation, that is a plus operator for concatenation here. And I'll just tell that this dot emp title. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to display this particular, I'm trying to declare one particular method here. So public display return welcome to, and I want to display the walking tree, welcome to walking tree. So walking tree is also already I have assigned, initialized in the for this particular property emp title. So I'll just tell that this dot emp title. So now this particular method, I will try to call this particular method in the HTML template. Okay, so now I'll just go here. So how do we call this particular template? So how exactly I can just call this particular template here is I'll just go here, then H1. Here what I'll do is I'll just call the template display. The method name is display method. I'm using the interpolation to call the method. So you can just see that welcome to walking tree. Okay, so now what exactly is interpolation is? Interpolation is nothing but is a one-way data binding, which will help us to bind the data from the component to the template. So how do you bind it? By using a double curly braces. So you can bind integers, you can bind a string, and you can just bind the various other that is objects and some functions and the method. So this is how you can just bind the method. So this is a one-way data binding. And now you have seen how exactly you can bind the data. But in interpolation, you cannot use a binding for example, expressions. So whenever you are trying to use some expressions, that is, for example, x is equal to 10 or something like that. For expressions, you cannot bind such sort of expressions. So some assignment operators like x is equal to this. So now let us just tell that if I just have x is equal to 7 or something like that, I'm trying to bind it. Okay, so now see it gives error occurs in the template of the component. So like this assignment expressions, you cannot bind the expressions. This is one thing which you cannot bind it. The second thing is whenever you are trying to use some global variables or global objects, like for example, location, window, location, and all these things are nothing but they are the global variables. So when you are trying to bind this particular global variables, then also it will give you an error. So you cannot bind. For example, if I just give window, okay, so window dot location dot href. So if I just give this, I just wanted to find out, so it gives me an error. I cannot bind such sort of global variables of JavaScript. So, but still, if you would like to do that particular part, then what you can do is, if you would like to access that particular global variables, you can declare a property, assign that global variable to the property, and then you can just use it. So we'll try to declare one property here for that. So I'll just give it as public. So public, I'll just tell that my URL is equal to, I'll assign, sorry, this is a window. So window dot location, window dot location dot href. So now I am assigning this is the global variables, that is window dot location dot href. This now I will try, I'm assigning it to an property, and this property I will bind it. So now here I'll just bind this with my URL. What is the name? So you can just see here, I am able to bind it. So this is the window which I am just using.